now for a quick Devar Torah. Okay, basically today, of course, is Lag Baomer, and it's a sort of nice festival day, so to speak. For 33 days, 32 days up until today, we've been in a period of semi-mourning. No weddings, no live music, etc. And today, of course, all those restrictions are taken away. And the question comes up, and we're in the middle of Parshat Bahar B'chukotai. That, so is there a connection between Lag BaOmer and Parshat Bahar? And in fact, the whole concept of the sabbatical year and the Jubilee. And there is. If we look at the reason that we're in semi-mourning, according to the Gemara, it was that Rebbe Akiva's students died of a plague because they didn't respect one another. The Parsha comes along and says that if there's a problem in society, you have to fix that problem. One of the big problems in many societies is you're stuck wherever you are. You don't have the ability to rise and lower yourself. This is a very important, and this makes for a stale society. If you look at the economic history of the United States, you see something interesting. We had the period, the Gilded Age, where the people were fabulously wealthy, and they tell you how bad these people were. What they don't report on is a lot of the nouveau rich, the newly rich in the Gilded Age, were people who grew up poor. Either they grew up poor or lower middle class. And by dint of hard work and certain innovations in economics, they became fabulously wealthy. And society benefited from their wealth. I mean, if I were to tell you, and nobody knew about them before. I mean, we're all old enough to know that 15 years ago, nobody here ever heard of Elon Musk. He's now one of the richest men in the world because of his innovations. Now, the big problem is that you have a lot of squabbling among people. And, it talks about Rebbe Akiva students didn't respect one another. A lot of times when you hear a dispute, it's very hard to keep the dispute as just a dispute of ideas. A lot of times it degenerates into name-calling, etc. People being nasty to one to the other, and the results, as you know, can end up with a lot of violence. As we see, by the way, currently with certain people attacking the authorities. It is imperative. What Lag BaOmer has come to say is, first of all, spiritually get your house in order. Don't go running around screaming at each other and denouncing each other just simply because you disagree. Realize there is room for disagreement, but you have to be smart about it. You have to recognize the other person is not your enemy. He might be wrong, but he's not your enemy. That's on a physical level, spiritual level. Economically, just because somebody was born poor doesn't mean they should stay poor. And plus, you have to respect them even if they're poor. Their dignity, there's no compromise on their dignity. Okay, like I said, with the whole concept of collecting the sheaves, gleaning the fields, the reason that we give them wheat and not bread is they should have the dignity that I made this bread. We are very careful about the dignity of the poor, that they are people and they have dignity, self-dignity. And when you treat them like dirt, then they will respond as the French peasants did in the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror, or the Russian people did with the Russian Revolution. these were societies which were static in who had money and who didn't. What the saving grace of the United States is, we're not economically static, and Baomer comes to teach us spiritually we cannot be static. We have to be always looking, and the reason we like bonfires, we're spreading the spiritual light of Rabbi Akiva. That light should permeate our lives. Remember, Rabbi Akiva was the one who said, you should love your neighbor as yourself. That was his guiding principle. So we should spread that light to the rest of society by our actions. Something to think about.